Told my girl I'd be back. Operator, please. This is wrecking my mind. Oh, can it be? The voices calling me, they get lost and out of time.
It's going to be, from my perspective, just from the beginning. My mom was only 18, straight out of high school, and my dad was 21. They're complete opposites. My mom's a narcissist and kind of carefree, whereas my dad was very strict, extremely, I guess, controlling towards her and what she could wear, wear dangly earring. But I would say a sociopath, apparently ready to get married to my mother. My dad wasn't very fond of children. He didn't really want children. He also was unable to be a good father because he didn't know what that was. Heather is the oldest, and she was born first in 1981. She was the firstborn of all of us. And my mother has 7 biological children, me and my siblings, and then I also have 2 stepbrothers. So when I say 9 siblings altogether, that's how I get that number. So when my mom became pregnant with me, like, okay, one's enough. They're annoying. I want you to get an abortion. And she didn't really want to do that. My mom just looks at him. She's like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it. She put her foot down. She's not doing it. Yay. I was born July 1983. I didn't really know my dad. I mean, I don't really remember him being around, like, ever. Saying I love you, my mom. I'm sure she said it. I know she said it. My dad never said it. I didn't know that fathers and daughters had like this special bond, which I didn't have. Basically, I just thought it was like kind of like fiction, but I didn't know. I didn't know it wasn't normal to be that. So yeah, daddy issues. Yay. Not having that very important love and that very important bond that is enforced by your parents is really unfortunate, and it can really have an effect on decisions you make as an adult. And sometimes you don't realize it until it's too late. So, because he was like never around, and she thought for sure there was another woman. My mom ended up finding them together, tries to hit her with a car. I think she went to jail. There was no coming back from that. So parents divorced. But I don't really remember them being together. I just remember living with my mom after. She was super into 80s rock bands, like the glam rock. Plus she was dating. So I do remember her dating, had her freedom now to like just be herself, which was 80s rocker mom. Yeah. She took us to Marge's house. We'd always watch Wheel of Fortune. I remember watching lots of Wheel of Fortune. I don't know, like we were always just being shuffled from one place to the other. Even though she took care of us and we lived with her, she wasn't like sitting around doing like Susie Homemaker stuff with us. I was going to a preschool at the time. My mom would drop me off there. I would be upset and I would cry. There was a man that would come drop off his son, and he would see me crying and he would come and pick me up. And then I would stop crying because he was so nice. So then when my mom met Leon and started dating him and he started coming around, we realized that this was the man that used to pick me up at daycare. My mom ends up marrying this man. Isn't that crazy? One thing I noticed right away about Leon was that he was nothing like my father. Really was drawn to him because he was such a loving man, and he would just crank up Welcome to Jungle, and we would just run through the house and, rock out. And I just thought he was so awesome. Like this man, I just love him. Like, will you be my dad? And he would play with us. So it was kind of cool to have somebody care about me. So yeah, he was a good dad. He was really happy. Even though we were poor, we had very little, I didn't care. Kids don't think like that, We would go visit my dad, but he would get us every other weekend. It was kind of like, okay, we're gonna go to our dad's, I guess. And my sister would make sure I was okay and well, at least we're together. We overcame that with each other. I never really looked out for my sister, and she had a lot going on and a lot of stuff. I wish I would have been there more for her. Okay, we're going with this man. I don't really know this man, even though he's my dad. See how that goes. When he decides to pick me up, never knew, never would call my mom, let him know if he was running behind, what was going on, whether or not he was coming or not. So the pickup thing wasn't working out very well for my dad. And he just would not pick us up. And watching the sun slowly go down and dad not come. So my mom would try to call him, and he wouldn't answer. It would get dark, and we would realize he's not coming. It was my dad. I mean, I wanted that. I wanted to see, well, dad's supposed to be cool, right? My mom would feel bad. I mean, this man didn't come pick these girls up again, and not feeling like anybody really cared about us. He didn't even call or anything. She would call my aunt, which is my dad's sister. Rick did it again. He didn't pick the girls up. We loved her. All my aunts were really good to us. If it had just been constant letdown, had we not had certain people that did make us feel important, it'd probably be a different story. Thus, the beginning of it all, right? My mom found out she was pregnant with their first child, their love child. Yay! So my mom and Leon are like, oh, man, you know, we can't really afford a place. It was in the ghetto. We used to walk to school. My sister would get beat up for her lunch money. And one time I just kept walking when she got beat up into somebody's yard, and the guy just chased him away with a rake. I remember that. He's like, go on to school, little girl. And I did, and just left Heather behind with this man. Hopefully nothing weird happened. It was a bad area and for poor people. But now there's a baby. They need more room. So the first promise started. People tend to do this to me. They make promises of rescue. You know how many times I've been told that in my life? Here's the first one. Well, you know, I was thinking, you know, you guys could go live with your dad for, you know, a couple months, at least, you know, until we get a bigger house, get things figured out. I'm looking at my sister like, I don't want to live with this man. I don't even know this man. Like, I want to stay here, you know, just for a little bit. And your dad agreed to it. I already talked to him, and it just like 6 months. And then you can come back with me. This was not my choice, as usual. So it was all set up for us, and then we had to go.
Oh, can it be? The voices calling me, they get lost in out of time.
I feel like some of the timelines were kind of mixed because I couldn't remember how old I was. Like 4, 5, 6, how old was I? So I'm thinking when my mom told us about going to go stay with my dad after Lucas was born, because I do remember staying in the basement, but it wasn't ideal. I mean, it wasn't finished, if I remember correctly. It was like a Michigan basement, but like we didn't care, we were kids. It just wasn't, she didn't think it was good for her girls to be, you know, living this way. I mean, she defends it to this day that, you know, she was just trying to do the right thing for me and my sister. The girlfriend that my mom tried to hit with her car ended up permanent with my dad, and he asked her to marry him. Sandy was her name, and she had a son, as I mentioned, and that's my second stepbrother, Justin, and he is a year older than me. I was the baby again, yay. Not that it mattered much. I thought he was just so cool, and that's what he was like, doing cartwheels. I remember in like his room or something down the hallway, or I don't know. It was just like, oh, this dude can do cartwheels, cool. I remember meeting Sandy and thinking the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen in my life. And she always had these really great stories, and they were like fascinating. And I really like wanted her to like me. I kind of gravitated towards Sandy, like, I'm gonna win her over. I just want her to love me. And you know, she was a good mom. Like, she wasn't as good as Leon. Like, Leon was like all in, you know, like. But Sandy was kind of different. She like was kind of guarded with her love. She, you know, was very much about manners and respect and respecting yourself as a woman, which she taught me a lot of that. She was very close with her dad, which was fascinating to me. Like, what's that like? What do you mean you were close with your dad? Did he love you? My very first friend I made when I went to school, and her name was Carissa. Like, you want to be my friend? I'm like, yes, I do. And we've been friends ever since. I mean, we've had our ups and downs, but we're still friends. I love you. I remember Sandy more than my dad. I mean, I don't know. It was my dad, the reason we were there. But my dad made me, kind of took some of my joy from me. And my mom noticed that. And it makes me sad when she says that. She's like, yeah, your dad really like changed you. Yeah. The entire time we were there, like, I was just waiting for like the moment when my mom come back and we could go back. The stories of living with my dad, and just so you can get a context of what it was like for us, I didn't feel happy. Like, I couldn't. My dad was very strict, and my dad was not letting us do anything. We couldn't have friends over. We couldn't go to friends' houses. We couldn't just watch cartoons, get up and watch cartoons in the morning like my mom let us do. Why can't we get up? You're not watching cartoons because I'm going to go watch something, and you're just going to do chores or something. I don't know. We weren't allowed to be children. We were children, for God's sake, like little children. I was 7. He's like, oh, let's see if you can push this lawnmower. And I'm just like, okay, and I'm like trying to push it and like struggling. He's like, yeah, she can push it. And he was OCD, which is tons of fun, isn't it? I mean, you should have chores for your children. It teaches them hard work, but it was like excessive. And there wasn't really anything fun to look forward to. We would get our sleds and go sledding down the hill. You know, it would get cold. Nope, you're not coming inside. You've only been out there for like 30 minutes. Go play some more. Okay, I don't want to. I want to go inside. Because he locked the door. He did that in the summer too. Yeah. I don't want to be out here anymore. I don't care if I have to go to bed, because that was like always his threat. Like, oh, if you do this, you have to go to bed. As long as I'm warm, I don't care. I don't care. I mean, what was the limit? When did we get to come in? I mean, I just want to come inside and be warm. We just annoyed him. He just didn't want us around. He just locked us outside like a dog or something. But the time came and like pulled us in the living room, and he was very intimidating. And he was like, so we're about to do this, you know, have this court thing, and they're going to ask if you want to live with your mom or with me. And which one? So what are you going to choose? I really want to go live with my mom. Which he did not like. Why do you want to live with her? And I'm like, because I miss her. I want to go back there. I miss her. Well, aren't you going to miss me? Well, what I wanted to say was, no, who are you? But I could see that was not the right answer. No, I don't think that's what we're going to do. And I'm like, what? This is what I was told was going to happen. And I didn't think I was going to be put on the spot and like make anybody feel bad. I just thought that was like the plan. I'm sure my mom can fill in those holes if I have her on my channel. I'm sure she'll be disgusted with the content, but I don't care. So we didn't get to go back after a year like we were promised. My parents, more my dad than my mom, tried to play us against each other. Like, tried to get us to tell him stuff about her and Leon specifically. And you'll see why. He was cool and like would, you know, he used to do this thing where he'd flex his arms and we'd hang on his arms and he'd like do this, you know. And it was just so fun. I just enjoyed going there, especially even like on the every other weekend thing that we were doing. And I'd be like, oh, today's the day I'm gonna go to my mom's for the weekend. I'm so excited. Let's get our shit together and then you guys can come back. But it was getting worse. Some things started occurring. I would say maybe like 3 years after we were living with my dad. Yeah, 3 years. And I think that's when my brother Cody, my third brother, my mom got pregnant with him. She was using it as somewhat of a tactic. We'll revisit that, maybe episode 3. So he was always looking for some reason to not let us go to my mom's. Like, oh, are you getting hurt? Like, no, no. I hope you guys are enjoying the story so far. One of the first things he did when we moved there was tell us that we had to brush our own hair. Okay, I'm 7. Me and my sister. Cuts all her hair off because I didn't brush it. Wow. Thank you, sir. Like, oh, call me sir. I'm a girl. And Sandy felt really bad for me because I was so upset about being called a boy. I want my hair back. So she took me to get my ears pierced, which I thought was really sweet. It was one of the best days ever. As a child. I was 8. It wasn't the SpaghettiO brand. That's all I know. That's what he always gave us in like butter sandwiches. I don't know. It was a weird, like he didn't know how to feed us or something. And I woke up like the middle of the night and just like nauseous. And I just vomited, all projectile vomit all over. I'm in big trouble. Like, what is it? Looks like a can of SpaghettiOs exploded all over the room. I'm like, oh. I didn't even know like firsthand what to do to clean up this mess. My sister wasn't offering any help. She's like she was all disgusted with me. He's probably gonna get mad if I wake him up, and even more mad if he finds out I threw up all over my room. It's a parent's job to take care of their child when they're sick, right? Because we had to call him Daddy. I'm like, Daddy, I got really sick. I woke up and I threw up. What do you mean you threw up? Like, I threw up on the floor in my room. He's like, what the fuck? The fuck? Puked all over the floor? Like, you didn't even try? It don't look like you tried. Like, it's all over by like where your head would be. Like, you just like didn't even try. And I didn't know. I mean, doesn't matter. Like, I'm a child, for God's sake. So he goes and gets like the wet back, his favorite thing. I'm gonna go get you some soap and water to clean up the carpet. And I was just sitting there watching me, like getting some sort of pleasure out of like his sick little 8-year-old daughter, like crying and cleaning up the, like her own period. Kind of sadistic. And it's not just soapy water. It's like blazing hot water with all this bleach in it. Sick. And the bleach was making it worse. I was like dry, you know. Is that bleach burning your eyes? He says. And you know what he did? He said, good. And then he kicked me. This man kicks me, little girl. So I started crying anymore. My sister started crying. Like, he did kick me. That happened. One of these situations that kind of makes me despise him. Kind of makes it hard to, you know, forgive him. I don't know, my dad used to do weird shit like count how many pieces of bologna there were or measure how much milk was in the jug. That way if we ate or drank anything, because we weren't allowed to do that, he would accuse us. So then my sister became Heather the thief. her lips were chapped, and they had a bathroom in their bedroom, and she went in there to find some chapstick. She had some obviously chapped lips because she was breaking some rules. Go to the warden, and he had to determine whether it was worth giving, like, where's my chapstick? It's not here. I gotta put my chapstick on my lips. My lips were chapped. Oh, you just went in my bathroom and took my chapstick? You stole my chapstick? Thief. Thief Heather took the chapstick, and from that day forward, he put a lock on his door. My dad was like jealous of us talking, like when my mom would call or something. He's like assigned a certain day she could call us, like she could call us on Wednesday. And if we weren't there, then she just didn't get to talk to us, which, why does it matter? Like, can she just call us whenever she wants? Like, okay. So the answering machine was in his room, and we weren't allowed to answer the phone unless it was them. We had to start laying down on the floor and like listening underneath the door because there was a phone. We can't just pick it up. We didn't have caller ID. This is like early 90s. Like one of us would lay on the floor and listen while the other one waited to say whether we could answer it or not, if it was Sandy or our dad. So Justin got to do a lot more than us. Like he was in football, so he got to go like to football games. We couldn't even go to football games because it was like this drag. I wasn't in sports because it was too inconvenient for him, but somehow my brother got to play sports. I'm pretty sure that's what my dad was trying to do, like keep us so like nobody liked us, so like we weren't asked to do anything and we didn't have boyfriends and he could just control us all the time. I have children and I would never, they know this and my kids love me. So anyway, back to Justin and his ability to do whatever he wanted. So we're like out there doing dishes, me and my sister, and we're like talking about how Justin has it really good. And my dad like pops out from behind like this corner, like he was listening to us, like, I guess, whatever, like, I don't care. We treat Justin better. And me and Heather are like, yeah, kind of, it seems he gets the better end of things than we do. Like, we can't, you know. Now, your solution is to treat Justin even better to let us know what that feels like. Like, we already know. We're talking about how it feels. So she took Justin to go get ice cream. Like, and not us. Like, and came back with it. Yeah, it was a joy living with my dad, especially concerning, like, eating food. I'm not a big mushroom fan. I despise them. I hate them. I hate them. I think, ooh. They always made eggs for breakfast on Sunday, which you think, oh, wow, they're making breakfast, but they always put mushrooms in them. And then they give me a big heaping plate full of them. Like, I don't want these. They're disgusting. Gross. We had to eat them. And if I didn't eat them, even if I didn't want them, only I get to sit here and eat my food and watch TV, which is exactly what I did. My parents never sat at the table with us. Us three kids sat at the table and had to eat, like, you know, the proper children with no elbows on the table and all that shit. Eat your mushrooms. So I like fish, but this was a little different. So this fish had an eye. I'm not fucking eating this shit. I'm not eating this. I'm like 10. And we had just gone, and that was back in the day when they had like video stores. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 came out, and we were into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I just want to watch this movie. I don't want to eat that. Like, I have to eat this fish, you know? I tried. I like took one bite out of it. I was like, oh my God, no. Fish was like looking at me like, oh, you're eating me. It's like, it has an eye. I knew I was going to have to go to bed, and I didn't want to miss that movie. But, you know, I wasn't going to eat that fish. And I just would hear like, cowabunga, dude. I'm just in there crying because I didn't get to see it all because that fucking fish. And I always didn't think it seemed fair. And I always like questioned it. Like, what is this normal? Like, we had a pool, okay? And we weren't allowed to swim in it or go outside in the summer at all. We weren't allowed to go outside or do it until they got home. I remember telling my mom about it, like how we were like she thought that was really unfair for us to have to be in the summer. Kids, like these kids can't even go outside. And she had to pay child support, and she was poor. By this time she had Cody, so there was 3 boys. She had 3 kids, and they were poor. And she had to pay child support. Isn't that fucked up? My poor mother. And one time there was like all these vines like growing up the back kennels. And my dad's like, you guys have to pull all these vines out, like, because the weed whacker is not going to be able to cut those, they're too thick. So here's me and my sister, we're like children, out like pulling like a man, pulling all these huge vines out, right? The next morning, I wake up, and my sister, oh my God, she looked like Quasimodo. Like those vines, poison sumac. My dad had to have known that. He had to have known that was poison sumac. And just let us sit there and fucking pull it out. Her face was like so swollen, like she had little raisin eyes. I'm like, what the fuck happened to you? I remember calling her fathead, and she was like so upset. That stuff always happened to my sister. And there was another time when my sister was mowing, and she ran over, like I think this happened to her like 2 or 3 times. She ran over a beehive. Like the bees went up her shoulder, like stinging her. And there's more. Me and my brother, Justin, I was such a tomboy. I always played with my brother because Heather wasn't really like into playing. And we always used to play this thing called Army. And I'd go through all this training, like Justin would be like, all right, climb this tree and do 5 push-ups and pull-ups and whatever. So I'd be like doing all this different stuff. So I get up in the tree and jump out of the tree and like land right on my arm, crack. Like crying instantly because like I broke my arm. And my brother's like, oh, that didn't sound good. And I was like, no, it's fine. Like, I'm gonna go get Rick, he says, my dad. And I'm like, no, don't get him. And like I said, I'll walk her off. He's like, you're not walking that off. What are you doing? Jumping out of a tree. And the funny thing is, like, I used to be like, I'd get bored and be like, Dad, I'm bored. And be like, what do you want me to do? Like, go climb a tree or something. He'd say that. And I brought that up and he did not like that. I was like, well, you said to climb a tree. Screaming at me. Like, I was like crying. Like, I was like, it was my fault that I broke my arm, I guess. Like, I did that on purpose just to piss you off. Like, oh, God damn it. I'm going to take her to the fucking hospital. And, you know, hoping Sandy was going to take me because, I mean, she was nicer than him. I mean, she was concerned. She put a little splint on me, you know. Nope, just me and Daddy-O. And all the way there, yelling, what the fuck's wrong with you? Why the fuck would you do that? Like, I'm just bawling, crying. Like, my arm is broken. I mean, like, it's not good. All the way until we get to the hospital. As soon as we get there, and then, oh, he's Daddy there. He's like, oh, come on, sweetie. I'm like, sweetie? Like, what? So, real loving environment to grow up in. So it's always like, you know, we were always looking forward to like the little things in life. Meanwhile, on the other side of town at my mom's, there was another story unfolding. I thought I had it bad, put it that way. My little brother and sisters had it way worse. And we'll get to that. That will be episode 3. And that one will definitely have a warning on it.
But everybody knows that a broken heart is blind, that a broken heart is blind.
And there is a disclaimer. We can't have anybody like that is going to get triggered by listening to some of the things that we're going to talk about today. So season 3 is called Existing in a Crisis. Now that we've done some character development, you know, there's me, my older sister Heather, there's Justin in between us, and there's Tony. There's some strange things starting to occur. Tony lived with his mom, so we would come, like when we would come on our weekends, he would come at the same time. So at this point, there was just Lucas, and then Travis came directly after. They're Irish twins, so Lucas was born in May 1988, and Travis came again exactly a year later in 89. Exactly, like one day apart. Crazy, right? 2 years after that, I think 91, so 3, 2. I'm not doing math. 1991, right? How old is Cody? Cody was born, and that was my 5th and last brother. So when Cody was born, like all sad because it's like Cody is a boy, it's supposed to be a girl. Cody was a F2 baby, and he comes out, and Doctor's like, "Oh my god, that's not a boy." And my mom's like, "Oh my god, it's a girl, thank God." The doctor's like, "It's a man." Do you know how big this kid was? 10 pounds, 11 ounces. I'm pretty sure that's correct. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mama. 10 pounds. Big old fucking Charlie Brown head. Like, what? How did my mom live through that? Lucas, Travis, Cook. And that was the boys, right? I gotta tell ya, I loved going over to my mom's house, and I don't know why, because I am so not a kid person. So it was the same for my siblings. They're like, I'm the fun one. Everybody knows that. So, because we did stay in the ghetto for a bit longer. Because I remember when I got my rollerblades, we were like rollerblade around in the, you know, where Heather got beat up. I can't even keep track of all the houses they lived in. It was nuts. And they ended up settling in this really nice house. I remember loving this one. Basketball hoop. We played basketball. And then, like, on the other side of the church, there's like a big baseball field, and there's a park. Like, because my parents, my stepdad and my mom, like, never around. My little brothers, they, like, went through a lot of, like, you know, the poor life. I remember one time we made them a haunted house out of like cardboard boxes, and we like ran it all through the laundry room and through the back, and
They were so scared. We were being there like grabbing them through the holes in the side of the box. But here's another thing. My brothers were such good sports. Like, I can't believe they did this. My mom had what was like MJTV happening like on MTV or something. So we had that. But then my mom also bought the album, which was like the history album. It was bad. I like love this thing. So, getting the boombox, jamming to some Michael, you know. So I would dance in the basement, but my brothers would always want to be like down there or whatever. Like, all right, well, if you're gonna be down here, you have to dance with me. I got this idea. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna like totally choreograph this dance and we're gonna like perform it for mom and dad. And they're like, whoa. And Travis, man, that dude has some moves. He could like moonwalk and stuff for like, Travis. But yeah, he got the moves. Like Jackson, like it would take all evening. Like we'd be like, oh, it's black. Cody had to have been like 3. Like, what was he doing? Then he was doing it, like, and it would be like a lead-in, you know. So like I'd like slide the boombox on the floor towards the couch, push play, and then like slither out, and then we'd just like come in with the music, like, and so we were all moving at the same time. But it was so cool because my parents would do it, and they would like, clap at the end. We were like, oh, we had a good time. Like they had these bikes, and my mom had like this old 70s like 10-speed or something that she got at a garage sale. It was all rusted. Travis and Lucas got like these sweet bikes for Christmas the year before. Poor Cody. So I would ride Cody on the handlebars of this rickety asshole bike, and it was like a challenge all in itself. I was going and there was like a crack like significantly in the sidewalk, like, so it wasn't a big deal, but I just remember it being funny. It was kind of, sorry, I keep laughing at him, like, because he went flying up like, but he was okay. So good times. So Cody, man. So he was a giggle, but I was saying how cute he was, like the toe head and dimple, double dimple. We called him Giggle Butt. You know, he's always giggling all the time, and he had these dimples, and it was just like he just made you laugh, and it was so cute. You know, he would just giggle, and like and his nose would like flare, and I would be concerned that he couldn't breathe because he would quit laughing and breathe. My mom said my dad had stole my joy, and I kind of feel like that happened to my brother Cody. You would never guess that if you met him now, because he's very serious. He's one of the more serious ones. Some of his joy got stolen, and that makes me sad. But, and one thing that when I said like some strange things started happening, we noticed that Tony was coming last, and we had it all lined up. And there was like some situation where his mom was like trying to keep him. That child needs both mother and father, not just mother, not just father, both. Like, stop it. That's so like ridiculous. All right, cut to the next scene. I gotta tell you something about Travis. I don't know. Like, he was always naughty. So we'd go to the park a lot, and they would play like on the jungle gym thing. And it probably was all about going to the park because I sneak a cigarette, as I'm about to now. Krista knows what I'm talking about. We'd go down to the park, and they would play, but Travis, naughty little shit. Like, Cody and Lucas would come, like, all right, guys, time to go back home. Travis's fucking ass would, like, run the opposite direction. Like, dude, this way. Like, Lucas was kind of a shit sometimes. Cody was the good one. I think he, like, hears that all the time. Like, he literally was the good one. Travis, man, why'd you do that? Why'd you always run from me? I was such a, like, get mad. Get your fucking out of here. Oh, my God. Need Carissa for this one. Travis. I got a good one. Lucas was part of this too. So Travis was like a scaredy cat. Like, it was so easy to scare him. But he got the moves like Jackson. So we would just like fuck with him. Cody was like so cute. He just got like ushered in with the big kids, and Lucas just like tried to act tough and fit in with us. So Travis was kind of like the odd man out. But, like, Travis was kind of, like, annoying. Like, nobody ever wanted to play with him. And, like, he always went, oh, play guy. We're like, we don't want you to play with us. So he must have been especially fragile that day. And we're like, oh, you got to stay in the other room. And so he's like, no. And, like, yeah, you got to go in the other room. So there's an air conditioner, like, a window unit in my mom's room. So we were listening to the Beatles and the White Album in particular. And I was like, dude, we should play Revolution #9 through the vent. And we're just like, oh my God, that's such a great idea. So we like went down the basement, hooked up, because like the vent was underneath it. Number nine. And Travis goes flying. Like, so you guys, there's music, there's something in through the, there's somebody saying #9 through the fucking vent. So we came and we acted like we couldn't hear it, and he was like like the more we acted like we didn't hear it, the more he freaked out. I'm like, God, this kid is easy. What else can we do to him? Like, it was spiraling. There is a poltergeist after you. He's gonna get you. Go like where there's air conditioning. It's the only way to defeat him is you have to go in there. I don't know why we were trying to make him go in my mom's room. Like I don't know, we just wanted him to go away. And then like it went further from that, and this doesn't even make sense because he had to go into the air conditioning room to escape the phantom or whatever. But he had to fend it off with a hairdryer because that makes sense. It doesn't. We had it where like I positioned him where he was like looking through the window at the same time, like it looked like Lucas was falling off. I was like, oh my God, do you see that? I'm like, no, what'd you see? Like, and then we ran out there and Lucas was like already gone because that was part of the fucking scheme and like just make him feel like he's losing his mind. He might be like running in the streets naked or something. On the floor, is the hairdryer pointed at the door. I'm like, dude, Travis, where are you? I was like, what? Why are you under the bed? Like, no, I saw a pole. I'm like, no, you didn't. We were fighting with you. I was probably all traumatized from that. That's what we did. We had fun when we would play Truth or Dare with them and make them do ridiculous things, as I'm sure they recall. They wanted to, hang out and be cool with us so badly we could, like, make them do anything. It was a good time going over to my mom's house. We used to go to the drive-in movies all the time. That was a good time. Wasn't that a good time? We would, like, fake it that Heather, she was, like, 14 at one point or something, and she had to be 12 or 11. We, like, put her hair in pigtails, and Travis was, like, laid flat on and we put a coat over him. Like, we were sneaking in people out. It would be fun. We'd all huddle under like one blanket, I just love that stuff, even though, we were cold and hungry probably. Just one bag of popcorn and one soda or something. Cuddle, puddle. It was just fun. And I just remember that was a good time. I'd often be talking, like telling some story, or would sing. We used to sing the Ants Go Marching. What was that? Like, and we'd be like, the Ants Go Marching. And then like zoom right past the exit. I was like, looking around like, where are we? Like, I don't know, I'm fine. Things my mother says, because things my mom says, it's like, the comedy writes itself. And the fact that all us siblings are so sarcastic and like how we are is like constant. People see that dynamic on the outside. She's like, be nice to your mom. I'm like, no, you don't understand this. It's how we are. And she seems upset. Yeah, she's always upset. Always slamming somebody's head into a doorknob or something. Throwing a Harry Potter book on him. I don't know, my mom's got some anger issues she needs to work through. And we're going to have a segment with my dad. Things my dad does, because, wow. He got adopted by Harry. Adopted my dad. My aunts, my 3 aunts that I just love so much. That's how we got our Polish last name. Thanks, Harry. Tony, he was kind of kept away, so maybe it was for the better, but he suffered in different ways, as far as he wasn't getting to see his dad. Then it was kind of like a resentment and towards his dad, Leon, for making things hard for everybody. Strange things were happening around here. We're existing in a crisis, are we not? So a crisis was occurring. And it was something I was not familiar with. So it happened later, where this discovery of this crisis happening. And what it was just this. Listen up. So one day, it was a Friday, and my mom was supposed to pick us up. My mom was late getting us, and she was never late. She'd like come straight from work, even though she had like all this stuff. But she always like has to come get you. I always just feel like I'm riding in the car, listening to some stressful situation that my mom was talking about that she could have easily been on a phone call. And she gets there, and she's obviously a little emotionally distressed. And back then we didn't have cell phones, so we didn't know exactly when she was going to be there. And she was late already. So things happen, and she's like crying-ish when we get into the car, and the boys are in there looking a little disturbed. My anxiety immediately went up. I'm like, there's something going on that's not good. She's like, well, Leon didn't come home from work today. Like, where is he? Like, what? Did something happen? I mean, I was young. I just remember there was a situation where he had disappeared and took all the money, and he was the breadwinner. We had like to drink, but he never drank at home. So like you never really saw him drunk unless he like would go out and drink and then come back home, and then he would be kind of mean. So Tony was like not coming as often and we weren't seeing him as much. And then like there were like marks and bruises happening. What happened? Like my mom had like this black eye, bad. Like I think she might have had double black eye. Like how was this happening? Like she kind of kept it hidden. Like he kind of didn't tell us what was going on. Leon's hitting her. Like what? This man that is such a great father is hitting my mother? What are you talking about? We were getting like this weird treatment, like some sort of like military thing, like because he was in the army, and like he'd make us stand in the corner. We would get like these pennies, and I mean they're broke. How do they have so many pennies is what I want to know. But they were like in these like wicker baskets, and they're just full of pennies, like heavy, and he'd make us like our hands like straight out like this, like straight, and hold them like at shoulder level, and so my dad ended up like opening like this child abuse case basically against my mom for this treatment, which he won. Apparently it's child abuse to make your kid stand in the corner with your arms out holding pennies for 20 minutes. It felt like it, but I still didn't dislike. I thought he got mistreated in that situation because he wasn't hurt. He wasn't hitting us or hurting us. I mean, he was just, it hurt less than the things my dad did to me. But I didn't really have a problem at that point with him. But then when the hitting, that shit pissed me off. But like we didn't get hit. I didn't get hit. I didn't get beat. I was not physically abused ever. I mean, except when my dad kicked me when I was sick. Like, what the fuck was that, Dad? But that was it. Like, it's not like he beat us. He didn't even hit us ever. Like, I don't think I ever got hit by Leon. Like, ever. The penny thing. That was it. So, he hit my mom. He hit my brothers. But he didn't hit me. One time I'd come over there and Heather wasn't there because she was working, and I like literally just got back with my mom, and Leon was there, and he was like drunk, I guess. Like it was one of my first times I've ever seen him drunk. It was like they just turned into this monster. I was like, obviously you shouldn't be drinking, man, because it makes you a very ugly person. Although I was beginning to think he was not a very nice guy since my mom was getting beat up prior to this. And she walks in and I feel like we stopped maybe at Martin's or something, got some stuff. She had like bags like with some stuff. And my stepdad like just like steps like he's like behind the door and like kicked my mom. Just kicked her right in her like ass. Like, hey, don't fucking kick my mom. That's what I said to this man. And I was a little nervous saying that. I was like 14. I could fucking kick my mom in front of me. Like, she didn't even do nothing. She just walked in the door. Like, what was that about? I remember one time. There's so many times. I don't know if it was the stress of all these children, which I don't doubt. And he'd always kind of had this problem, but he was like one of those drunks, and my ex-husband was just like this, where he was super like a good man. As soon as he like, got underneath his vices, like drinking, and he like turned into Jekyll, he hide in Jekyll, you know what I'm saying? It was a roller coaster for my mom because she was in love with that man, sweet and loving and looking at her with love, and all that, and adoring her, to giving her double black eyes. You just can't win, can you? Life is strange. It is what it is, and I don't know why things happen the way they do. It's heavy, and as a disclaimer, don't forget that. Yeah. We automatically thought alcohol. There was something. So something did come out of the penny thing. So my dad like had a case against him and he won, and my mom had to have supervised visitation. I remember being very upset about this. We barely got to see her, and my dad had to be the one to supervise, which like this perfect situation for him to just like totally control the situation. He was like, I don't want to do this, just take him, We could only go with her for one day. So she'd come get us Saturday morning and then like spend as much time, like all the way till 9 o'clock. I think this is when she was falling asleep. And she would like fall asleep on her way home. It was like she'd have to like roll the window down and sing or be like, oh, what? And then drop us off. Isn't that crazy? Like, and she did all the driving. He did none of the driving. None, ever. And they lived like 30 minutes apart from each other. She did everything. There was no give or take. It was all her. And she was poor, and she paid child support. Like, how much are you going to try? Like, what a mean person. And he's the one that cheated. And he stole us from her. Like, there's so many things. Like, it's just like, What is wrong with you? Why did you do that? And then especially after this, she goes through so much. You know, present day, we're in the car driving recklessly down the road with my mother, and she's upset and she's crying, and she knows something, but she don't want to say it in front of the boys. Whenever we got in the car with my mom and the kids and stuff, it was just instant chaos. What is going on, you know? But she's like, I think that, you know, Leon, he's gonna spend all that money, and he's not gonna come back until it's gone. I was like, why would he do that? Like, he knows you guys have to pay rent. He knows you guys have to pay, because they have like all these bills due. So we get to the house, okay? And here's the messed up part. There is no furniture in the house. It's all gone. All their furniture is gone. Gone. They have no TV. Fucking anything. Like, I'm like, what is going? Pawned everything. But why? Why is he pawning stuff? Where is he? That's when we found out that my stepfather, who I greatly admired, was a crack addict. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Crack. He smoked crack. Not cocaine. Crack. And my mom had known about it for a little bit. Damn it, Leon. And she said she thought it was over. But it didn't. It was still going on, and it was progressing, and now it was crack. When did he start hitting her? Like, it just kind of progressed. But, and I know he wasn't always like that, because like in the beginning, or he just hid it from us, and my mom did too, because they seemed like super happy. He would like get all my siblings like in the fucking car and go looking for him at all the different bars, and like, you know, that's trashy. Why would you do that? Go smoke crack and say, fuck my responsibilities. And that's what he did for the next 5 or 8 years. Like, look, don't be a piece of shit. You have like 500 kids. Come take care of them, right? And he just got away with it because my mom allowed it to happen. Sorry, mother, but you did. And my brothers and sisters suffered because of it, which is kind of fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, they should not ever have to see that kind of shit. Ever. I shouldn't have had to see that kind of shit. Like, and I couldn't even protect them from that because I had to go live in fucking this prison that you sent me to. That makes me mad. It makes me want to fucking cry is what it makes me want to fucking do, because that's some hard shit. You're gonna lose your family, you're gonna lose me if you don't fucking stop this shit. Because what's more important to you? So what does my mom do? She has babies. She keeps having babies. You know why she keeps having babies? Because that keeps him home. And it worked. It legitimately worked. Cody was the first specimen, right? By the time Cody was born, or whatever, no. This happened so much. This happened so many times. This was just the first time. Like, the furniture's gone, like, all the time. The electric got shut off one time, and like Lucas had this like little fish, Tacoma, I remember him. And like, it was a beta fish, and he would like live forever. It was like the coolest, prettiest little fish. And it was winter, and this fucking fish was like frozen in the fucking fish bowl. Like, oh my God, you didn't get the fish out here? Must have been the gas, not the electric, because the microwave was right there. And I'm like, looks like, should I put it in the microwave? Like, I don't know, man. Go for it. I mean, it's dead. Like, this fish came back to life. It's like the miracle fish, and I think he lived like another 5 years. I lost a lot of respect for Leon, which was unfortunate because I really liked him. It's just the way it was. I'm like, well, why should I apologize for that? You know, I'm on this like little pedestal, and then how quickly he had fallen, right? Because now he was abusing my mother and basically my siblings, because they were out. They didn't have the things they needed. Plus, he was physically abusing them quite often. Like, one time I saw him pulling my brother by his hair. His hair. Pull a child by their hair. I was like I freaked out. Like, don't pull his hair. Like, I was like so mad because it was so evil to do that to a child. Don't do that to my brother. Like, I used to like stand up to Leon all the time. Like, they were scared, you know. They're fucking kids. They're my fucking brothers, and I'm gonna abuse them. So I was, however I was, we kind of lost our relationship over time, which is sad because we had a good bond. I loved Leon, and he totally broke that. My siblings like suffering because of that. Like, it's not right. I hope they're not all fucked up, but some of us are, you know. There were so many situations where he would like try to like, and like, I don't want to be this person. I don't want to like, you know, I don't want you guys to hate me, because we were like all hating him. Tony was hating him, you know. One time, it was Christmas, and was a couple of years into this crack addiction thing. Christmas shopping because he'd already gone with my mom for like the kids and stuff, and he wanted to go for her. But my mom's like, I'm not giving you money. I'm like sending you on your way. You got to take one of the kids with you. So I went with him. Like Tony some shoes, and he got stuff with his money. So I'm in the car, and like when I get back to the house, I'm starting to get out. And he's like, oh, I forgot cigarettes. All right. And he like just left. And I walk in the house, and my mom's like, where's Leon? Like immediately, as soon as I came to the house, where's Leon? I was like, oh, he forgot to get cigarettes. He ran down to the gas station. She's like, no, you can't let him go. What, why would you do that? Like, and crying that I let him go. I was like, Mom, like, you're upsetting me. Like, I didn't know he couldn't go. Like, this was like fairly new to me. Like, I've never been in this situation before. Too much for like a 14, 15-year-old girl to have to deal with. Like, I can't stop. I have to think about that. That's insane. Like, I don't want to worry about that. It's like the lead up. Like, this is how it was. We had a lot of good times. We had a lot of fun times. But then this happened. This was the existing in a crisis, because that's what was happening. We were just, at this point, existing in the middle of Leon's crisis that wasn't going to get any better. It wasn't going to get any better. He was addicted to this. He needed to go to rehabilitation, and he needed an intervention. But he would like church. My parents would try to like, church will cure everything. Okay, like that's the answer. Not always. It's not always the answer. It's the answer for some people. It works for some people. The cult or whatever. Church really. Let's just call it what it is. Cult. You're a grown man with the kids. And by this time, my sisters were born. So Hannah and Abby. So he had his girls. Like, I feel like I'm just scolding my stepfather and my mother. But you guys, like, do you need scolded? Mom. They don't see what they're doing wrong. You know, you need to do that too. So if you see red flags and like signs that you should be doing things differently, do things differently. And it's too late. It's too late. And now your kids, because you let that happen, he is smoking crack. And it is out of control. He is spending his entire paycheck on it. He is pawning their furniture. He's pawned their vehicle. My mom, I had to go get the vehicle from like the crack dealer's house with my siblings in the car. Yikes. It's gone were the fun times. Gone was, riding Cody on the fucking bike handles. Now it's just wandering. So, end of episode 3. Episode 4. Yeah, so the burial is episode 5. You like that, Lucas? And then episode 6 is after the burial. I thought you might find that clever. That was a band my brother was in. So he was in the burial, and then like members left that band, and then they formed like this other band, and then they called it After the Burial. And I thought that I always liked the name. I liked that. And then I was like, hey, I'm gonna like work that into my names of my episodes. Hope you don't mind.
You know me, I had plans, but they just disappear to the back of my mind.
All right, so I guess we're getting comfortable for this episode. We've come a long journey. I need a drink. Give me just, it's right here. I am drinking Michelob Ultra. I do promote. My walls are black. I don't know if you noticed this. I love black. It's like one of my favorite colors. And it's the absence of all color, My favorite movie is The Little Mermaid. Just love it. And I just like the sea. I love the sea. This podcast is pretty therapeutical for me. It helps me like, not be sitting in my house crying all the time. I don't do that. Do I do that? No, I don't. I'm getting better. It's all coming full circle, right? Once we knew about it, it was like our mom was talking to us about it all the time. Like if he was gone, she's like, well, Leon's gone. We're like super into like this band, the Kelly Family. My sister like found him on an infomercial. Or call this number or get this free music video. Like 1-800 Kelly Family, whatever. And she got this video. It was called Fall in Love with an Alien. And for some reason, look it up, Kelly Family. My sister puts it in and I'm just like, what the fuck is this? Because it was really weird.
I'm in love with an alien. I'm in love with her eyes. I'm in love with an alien. I'm telling you no disguise.
Very great. My kids, like, life was tough, but
they never went without, and I always put my kids first. So like they didn't really have it rough. They didn't even know, like, and we didn't have cell phones. And he said he enjoyed it. We had chickens like in a garden, and they'd go out there and they'd help me with juice all our vegetables and make these little juices. This guy, he was on Smoker's Corner, and I just started doing this thing where I would go to Smoker's Corner and smoke cigarettes. I thought it was so cool because I had a lot of guy friends, kind of drifting away from my girlfriends at this point because it was just kind of getting catty. And Krista smoked too. We used to do this thing called walking, and there was a boy over there. He used to stand over there. His name was Jason. And all I knew was he was kind of a bad boy. Like, he had that reputation of being a bad boy. Older, so you strove for that, like I said, like 90s grunge kid. And then he kind of like cleaned up and was like, it was pretty cute. I was 15, he was 18, and he was goofy. Like, he'd make jokes, and he had showed interest in me and like tried to talk to me, and I was like so shy, like, really? Like, that's never happened. Like, no guy had ever showed me interest before that. So then I was like nervous when we'd stand over there, like, this guy like totally into me. He wrote me a letter. Like, that was the thing back then. Like, we write these notes. We didn't have text messaging and all that. He wrote me a letter and was telling me how attractive he found me. I was like, oh my God. Like, I would just sneak over there, like, whenever I could. Or I'd have him come pick me up. I was skipping school. I would skip school. And it was like a big deal to me because it was like I was doing normal things. I was going to the mall with like my boyfriend, and like it was just like I was like coming up in the world. Yeah, I started being very bad, and my dad was not having that, and my stepdad did not like Jason either. He didn't like my stepdad because I kind of told him some of the stuff that was going on there with the crack addiction and all that. He introduced me to like Limp Bizkit and Korn, Slipknot, and he'd like show me all this music, and he was like wanted to be in this band, and I just thought that was so cool. And it was a lot of breaking up, getting back together, breaking up. Some other girl was always like the problem. He totally cheated on me like a million times. So it was about this time where we had kind of a significant breakup. But we used to take this family vacation every year up north. I hated it, honestly, because we would go mushroom hunting. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I hate mushrooms. And I was like part of this church too, and I was like in the youth group, and they had like a parade that Saturday. And so my dad let me just stay home, but I think it's because Justin was there too. He was like inviting his girlfriend over when they weren't there, so I'm breaking the rules left and right. Like, there was this party on that Friday night, and Jason was gonna be there. And so I was like, I wanted to go because I wanted to win back, you know? I look really good at this party, and I did, and I won him back. Woods, and it has like this wraparound deck that goes around it, and then like this big like drop off, all this like woods and area. You had to like go through the woods, which was dark and not well lit. And this kid is like standing up on the deck, and he's like, hey, I got a flashlight. You looking for a flashlight? I'm like, yeah, throw it down to me. So like he's way up here, I'm way down here. Bam, right in my face, busting my lips straight open. Oh my God, it was so bad. Like my face, like I was so, oh man, I'm bleeding. Like, you need to go to the hospital, but I couldn't. People that were there were like doing like hardcore drugs, so they're like all on acid. And nobody could drive me. I didn't have a license, so I couldn't drive. But my face was all fucked up. I had to be in that parade for the church because I didn't work Saturday because my mom ended up taking me to the hospital. That was a fun situation, but yeah, just in context of my relationship with Jason, I've been love Lala, Twitter Pater Leon. There was things happening still like with Leon, and but it was like such a cycle that had been happening for years and years and years that like he would just like be gone the entire weekend. And then like remorsefully show up on Sunday like, I'm so sorry, like always so sorry. And it was just kind of frustrating because then he did this alcohol thing too, like usually on a Friday, but then he would be mean. He usually took it on Lucas and Travis the most. I don't recall him like really beating up on Cody that much. Maybe it's because he was the youngest. He would yell at him and make him cry because Cody was kind of a crier. But they were all very like, they were just little boys, you know, because those kids wanted him. They like looked up to him. The boys, they just wanted their dad to just, you know, be everything that, you know, a dad should be. They like really just looked at him through rose-colored glasses because Hannah was only 4 and Abby was like one, like barely, she was just a baby. So my sisters were a blast, just like my brothers. And he wasn't hitting on the daughters. Like they didn't get that. I mean, they would, I don't remember them ever really getting in trouble. Got a plate or whatever, and we're eating, and then Travis was always like a pig about everything, which whatever, he was hungry, and he'd be like, can I get seconds? Like he'd like scarf down all the spaghetti, and then he'd be like, can I get seconds? And Leon would get so mad that there's not a lot of food and there's a lot of us, and then Leon, you know, wouldn't get, like, as the man of the house, the provider, he wasn't getting, you know, what he wanted. Fly into like this rage, which was unnecessary and always made everybody uncomfortable. Okay, it's not that big of a deal or whatever. Like it was something to start with my brother. And then like I was kind of like confronting him about it. And then my mom's like, don't fight with the kids. They were like upstairs fighting in the room. And then I remember like this poster, of course, it always goes back to the posters of these rocker men my mom have, but then they threw it down the stairs, like broke it, like all this ridiculous shit. Mom's crying, like, and I feel like he like kind of pushed her. That was it. That was like this shit. Boys are scared, like look, because it's like this huge thing. It's always this huge thing. I shoved him like as hard as I could, like push him, and he didn't expect it, and he like lost balance, fell back, and like the whole kitchen table was like just busted. And then my mom was like mad at me. She's like, oh, like you ruined the dining room table. Like it was just evolving and getting worse, and like my disdain and like for him was like pretty high. At first it was like I was like, you're not gonna do that to my mom. But then my mom was starting to like fucking irritate me because she was like continuing to stay and continuing to let this happen to my brothers. I was like starting to get mad at her. Like, okay, when is enough enough? She's like, all right, this, like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to go, like, I'm going to take the kids and we're going to go stay with my parents. I'm going to save some money. I'm going to get my own place and, like, you figure this out. So she got this house, and it wasn't really in the ghetto like that first house was. But it wasn't a great neighborhood. It was, you know, a low-income neighborhood and, like, on the south side. So, I mean, who knows what's going to happen to him. Because I want to go live with my mom. Like, when I turned 16, I'm like, okay, I'm 16. I should be able to make this choice that I want to go live with my mom. She was still married to him. She was just, taking a break from him so that he could get him, you know, get yourself clean. So she took him back. Leon made like this promise to his brother, like, I promise you I'm going to get clean, and let me do my testimony at your church. And Billy's like, yeah. It was pretty embarrassing, and probably for Billy and for my mom, and definitely for the kids. Like that's not something we tell people. We don't tell people. I mean, most people don't even know that. I mean, some of you that are watching this are probably like, what? My sister had moved out because she had a boyfriend. She was 18, living at home still, and my dad still wouldn't let her do that. So she would like sneak out at night and go see him, go stay the night with him, and then sneak back in the morning before they woke up. And when she got caught doing it, I was like, what? My dad and Sandy were like, did you know about this? I'm like, no. I didn't even know she was doing that. That's how secretive my sister was. Heather's like, I'm out, because that's what she does. Sorry, Amy, like, you're on your own here on out. And that was like the first time I wasn't with my sister, like, my entire life. I was very sad about it, by the way. So my sister left me, and I was alone. She's like, pack up all your sister's stuff. So I'm like crying as I'm packing up her stuff, because I was like, my sister's gone. I'm alone in this fucking house with my dad, you know. I'm like in misery. I just want to be with my boyfriend all the time, and my dad won't let me. Because then I turned 17. And my dad was like pulls me out of the living room, like trying to yell at me like old, like 10-year-old style, like where I would just take that shit. You can emancipate yourself at 17. Yeah, you're an adult at that point. Fuck this shit. Like, I got that guy, like, I like him, he likes me, we're gonna be together forever, and I'm gonna do it. Like, you don't tell me what to do. I'm an adult. Starts poking me right here in the chest. You're gonna listen to me. You're not gonna, don't poke me. Stop poking me. That's what I say. And he's like, this is like the first time I've ever stood up to my dad. Like, I never have done this. Never, ever, except right then. I'm like, I had like all the stresses of what was happening at my mom's house and like that, and then trying to keep my boyfriend happy because I could never go see him, and then living with this man without my sister. I was just like, I had enough, and I can leave if I want. So bye. You're not poking me anymore. Like, what? Like, who are you talking to? I'm talking to you. I'm out. I'm leaving. Okay, leaving. I don't want to live here anymore. I haven't wanted to live here the entire time I've lived here. I said this to him. Like, just stood on the driveway with my trash bags. My dad, like, walked out there, like, went out to the garage or whatever. I'm sure yeah. Nice knowing you, Daddy. My dad, like, he just can't let go of the control, right? I debated going back with my mom, but then, Leon, I wanted to deal with that. I was just being very selfish. I wanted to be with my boyfriend. That's what it's always about when you're a teenage girl like that. What did I do? I ended up going back to my dad's. But I wanted my dad to compromise with me. He's like, I'll get you a job with me. He did try to work with me. Like, I was like, I need to, like, if I come back, you have to let me see my boyfriend, and you have to, like, give me some freedom. And he agreed to it. So I went back to my dad's, but for a very short time. But then this thing happened, right? I had gone over to my mom's, and that situation with Leon had happened. Jason knew about everything because I had told him about it in the house getting ready at my mom's, and Leon, like, went out there and was like talking to him,
And they ended yelling at each other. He was like, oh, and then crackhead or whatever, talking shit to my stepdad. So Jason's starting to fight with him out on the porch, and I go out there and I'm like, dude, shut up, jump in the car and leave. And Leon was like, I'm just looking out for you because I love you and I care about you. And I was like, well, I don't love you. He felt that from all ends. It wasn't just me. Like I said, Tony felt that way. Maybe Lucas was starting to feel that way. We were very disappointed in him, if that's the right word to use. I regret a lot of things I did because, it's not like I helped the situation by engaging with that or being aggressive towards him. He'd gone maybe, let's say 3 or 4 months clean. And this was gonna be the 5th month, and he had a relapse. And that's when Tony and him had talked on the phone and talked about, I don't know, something getting together or doing something, and he had found out about him having that relapse, and he was like, this is why I don't come see you, Dad, and just called him an asshole. You're an asshole, you don't care about me, you just care about getting high. So Leon felt pretty bad at that point because he'd had the relapse, which fucked up his streak. His son is disgusted. His stepdaughter is disgusted. I'm sure my mom felt disgusted. Get better. It wears on you. I told him I don't love you. I love you. I don't care. Get out of my face. Fuck that shit. I don't believe anything you say. Why are you doing this to my family? You're hurting them and you're hurting me. You're hurting yourself. And can we just have peace after that happened? Because Leon and Jason's fight or altercation, I was like, I don't want to come around if he's gonna treat my boyfriend like that, blah blah blah. So my mom was really upset about that because I was she felt like she gave me up for him or whatever, and my siblings missed me and stuff, and I wasn't coming because I was mad at him, which is stupid. With my sister Heather, she always wanted to come over and stay the night. We were gonna just hang out and just have a sister night. So pass out, went to sleep, and the phone's ringing. It was early, and my sister's like, what the fuck? So she's like, she had caller ID at this point, and she's looking, and answer the phone, why is it ringing? And she's like, it's our mom, our mom's number. She's like, oh my God, it's Mom. She's like it was a corded phone, so you couldn't red button it or anything. It just kept ringing unless you answered it. So she's trying to unplug the phone. She's like, and because it rang all the way through, and then it did it again. And then she just hung up and called back, and my sister was super pissed and trying to unplug the phone so it would stop ringing, but she couldn't get it unplugged. So I was like, just answer the fucking phone. So she answers the phone and immediately is like, what? And then it starts crying, just bawling, and I'm like, what? I don't know what's going on. For some reason my mind immediately went to something about one of my little brothers. I'm like, did something happen to Lucas? What's going? What? She's like, oh no, it's not Lucas. And I'm like, she's crying, it's insane. I was like, Heather, talk to me. What is going on? What? So she's like, we'll be right there. That's what she said, we'll be right there. And hangs up the phone. She's like, oh my God. And she's like, Leon's dead. What? What? How? Shocking to say the least. What do you mean he's dead? What happened? She's like, oh no. Mom was freaking out, and she the cops were there, and I'm like, the cops are there. What about Lucas and Travis, the kids? She's like, I know, we gotta go there though. We gotta go there. I told her we'd be there. So she calls my dad. It's Mom, my mom just called and Leon died, and we have to go there. And what if he would have said what he said to her to me? I'd be like, my dad's and she's crying, and my dad's like, well, what? Why are you crying? It's not like I died. Are you kidding me? Who the fuck says that? Who the fuck says that so yeah, her husband was being an idiot, and I wanted to stop and get donuts or something on the way, which was dude, can we just get to my mom's house so I can see what the hell's going on? And I was severely worried about my siblings, because this is their father, and just everything they'd already been through up to that point, and now this, what in the, it was very surreal. In my life, I'd only had 2 losses so far. Leon, that was my first major loss. I had I can't even express to you how I felt, but something was keeping her from being able to unplug that phone. You'd think you'd just be able to pull it out, and she couldn't. Obviously,
that's why it happened that way. For this, it's all just winging it. Like, this is just all from memory. And so we get there, and, you know, my mom's like inconsolable, crying, like, you can't even understand. Like, just calm down, Mom. What happened? What's going on? With his back to everybody, like, because the living room's here, and he had his back turned, you know, with his face in the couch, and like not like really participating in anything that was going on around him. What's going on, Lucas? Like, she's like, oh, he's taking this really hard. It's like he was like in pain, you know, sad. This is dad, you know, traumatized him, obviously. So, and I think that once we got there, it calmed her down a little bit, because she had like, you know, just little kids, and Lucas was inconsolable, and like she needed some comfort. So we were providing that for her. Took off on Friday with this check, and fucked that all off and didn't come home. She was really sad that I wasn't coming around. And plus, I was like her confidant. We talk about what was going on with Leon, and, you know, I'd give her my advice. Like, we were very close. We had a very close mother-daughter connection at that point in my life. And we never really had that before, so it was really nice. Now, I wasn't coming around because of that. Just with all that said, he had taken off that Friday and gotten his check, and she hadn't, you know, she had started to trust him again, so she probably was like, didn't get there in time or something. Like, hears him come in. She's telling us this story. Hears him come in, and she's like, instantly like, this man, like, I'm so mad at him, you know? So she like gets up and like kind of confronts him, like, oh, like, way to go. Like, you, like, so like, everybody's disgusted with you. I gave up my daughter for you. And like, I'm sorry. I'm just a piece of shit, basically. Like, I can't overcome this, apparently. Like, and once she was done with her, like, little whatever towards him, she went back and laid down in bed. So Leon proceeded to, like, you know, go in the bathroom and take a shower. He wakes up, like, you know, an hour later at 6 a.m. or whatever. It's quiet, and Leon's not in bed with her. She didn't hear him anywhere, so she's like, gets up, and was looking around, and she didn't see him anywhere. And she goes in, like, the girls' room, and, you know, looks everywhere, and she can't find him. He leave, and then she looks, and she sees that there's, like, his shoes are sitting right there, like, in the living room or something like that, and his wallet is, like, stuck inside his shoe. He's got to be there somewhere. So she goes outside, and she goes out the back door, and she's kind of, like, looking around the backyard, and then she, like, sees his truck, like, parked behind the garage, like, kind of sticking out. She sees that. Like, that's weird. Why is he parked back there? Right? And so she's like, is he in the garage? But for something was telling her to look in the garage. She opens the door, she goes in there, and he's in there. And she's like, what are you doing? She says to him, because he's like sitting like on his knees, like kneeled on the ground. But he's got like this rope around his neck. Like, what are you doing? Like, so she like reached up, you know, like to take the rope off his neck. Position he's in, like literally like on his knees with this like rope around his neck. Leon, like, help me. Like, why, like, what are you doing? And, like, she gets the rope off. He, like, just falls, like, dead weight. Like, just falls back. And then she knew, like, he's dead. Like, done is, like, traditionally, like, be hanging, right? Hung himself. But instead of, like, doing it that way, that made it where when he was on, like, kneeled down like that, like, it was just enough to, like, choke him. Like, it was just tight enough to choke him at that level. And with that said, I feel like he did it that way because he, like, in case he changed his mind, he could just stand up. But he didn't. He just didn't. He felt like he was letting his kids down. He's let his wife down. He's let everybody down. And he was just didn't want to live anymore. I think his mentality was that we would be better off without him. But what he didn't realize is that those kids, you killed yourself. Their father killed themselves after this whole long journey of, like, pain and suffering from living like that. And in such a tragic way. I mean, what if it wouldn't have been my mom that found you, even though that fucked her up? I mean, she hasn't been the same since. So she ran inside, and I guess Lucas was like,
whatever he heard. So he was like on his way outside, like to see what was going on. And my mom's like running back, like, go inside, like, go, do not go outside, like, go inside. Very traumatic, very chaotic. Not a lot of answers. No, like, that how, if they were told properly about what was occurring, like, he's crying, like, I didn't really ever see my brother cry. He didn't, like, cry like that. So, it was, like, hurt me, like, so to see him like that. Like, even though his dad he knew, like, his dad had, like, these problems, he, like, still, like, viewed him as, like, you know, his hero. I'm the strong one, right? So, all right, let me suck it up, like, this is fucking some heavy shit, but, like, you gotta, like, be strong for, like, your mom and your siblings. Like, Lucas, like, talk to me. And he's just, like, wouldn't talk to me. And we just got really close to his ear, and I'm like, Lucas, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm here for you. I'm not going anywhere. Always gonna be here for you forever. His dad actively made a selfish choice to end his pain and suffering, but a whole different set of pain and suffering ensued. No, instead you have a whole other onslaught of different pain and suffering that you have to deal with for the rest of your life, and unanswered questions, because there was no note. There was no note. Why did you leave me? Why? You didn't love me? Yeah. The last thing my stepdad said to me was he loved me. And I told him, well, I don't love you. And I never got to make that right. Because I did love him, you know. I did love him. I was just disappointed in him and what he was doing to my family. But I never got to tell him. Never got to tell him that. Because, you know, he did what he did before I could. Tony had guilt, too, because he just called me an asshole on the phone. I want you to get better, and you're not, and you don't care. You don't care about yourself, and you don't care about me. He never got to say sorry either. And then my mom had just said how she gave me up for him, like, mere moments before he did it. Like, it was just like, I didn't think that we loved him. I mean, I don't like to think like that, but, like, if he thought, like, you know, his kids didn't love him and his wife didn't care about him, then, you know, obviously that's why he did what he did. So it was hard for the things we'd said, and, you know, you can't take that back, you can't go back in time, fix that. Maybe it would have changed some things, I don't know. But now, it's like everything changed in one moment. My mom's a widow with 7 kids. Alone. None of the kids didn't have their dad no more. You know, the thing you want to protect them from, you can't, like, over and over again, I, like, failed them at protecting them from this shit. Like I said, I loved him very much. I mean, but this is a true story, and these are facts. This is not fiction. Everything that happens from here on out. We're almost concluded with the burial, and then we'll move on to the episode 5. That's episode 5 after the burial, yeah. You get to see how crazy life got after this. So the burial, yeah, so that was hard. So we did the wake was on the 24th, so that was 2 days after. And it was Abby's birthday. Abby was 2, she didn't really know what was going on. I doubt she remembers much of it. And I remember seeing him in the coffin. And that was, like, the first time, like, I'd ever seen, like, somebody, like, that close to me, like, laying there dead. Kind of did not like that, how it made me feel, like, looking at him and ugly crying. Like, it was just, like, the most devastating thing at this time in my life. Strong, for the most part. I mean, it takes a lot to break me. I've come pretty close. It was a great loss. So we, like, kind of busted out of there and went back to the house so we could have this, like, little party for Abby. Tony was there, and we're all sitting in the living room, and she opens her gifts. I think she had gifts, and then we're singing happy birthday to her. Like, it was like the saddest birthday party ever. Like, happy birthday, yeah. And they're singing, and as soon as we complete the happy birthday song, like, yay, you know, you clap at the end, every light in the house went out. Every light. Every light. I'd never seen anything like that in my life. And we're all like, and Tony just says, okay, Dad, we know you're here. So, yeah, he made an appearance at the party. And he made several appearances after that. Like, we had a lot of paranormal activity after Leanne went. And we'll tell you about that in the next episode.